Let's grade the players.
How do you think Neil O'Shea feels about making Lake Oswego public? What do you think his vote on that is?
I think he's drinking a water bottle, looking to
City
the side.
finally gave
Stay
up.
out of my lake. This is my lake. Private.
City was looking to appeal, and then they're just like, we just give up.
They've given up.
They finally gave up. Yeah, so it's going to be a
Yeah.
public lake now?
I mean,
because
there's
it's a
public-
body of water?
There's public access
There's
to
an
it.
entryway that's never
I mean,
been
yeah, you
public.
can't walk through somebody's backyard to get to the lake.
Yeah,
I
there's not
understand
too many
that.
points of entry.
No, I disagree. We actually know somebody on the lake that basically said, just go up to my dock and take my paddle boards.
We did, yeah.
Well, yeah, but you've been given permission by somebody.
It wouldn't look like permission. It'd look like stealing if you saw us doing it.
I think if we went on that lake, somebody'd call the cops on us. I'd probably dress too dumpy. I'm in a cut-off T-shirt. They'd boot me out of that water immediately.
There is an athlete in sports that yesterday some news happened with his team, and it got brought up that maybe he is not long for the team. So David Griffin got fired with the Pellies yesterday, which was really expected. I mean, that wasn't like breaking news in my takeaway wasn't that it was breaking news.
Things have not gone well for the old Pellies lately.
They shouldn't exist as a franchise.
No, they shouldn't.
Just say it out loud. We all know it. It's
Nobody
not
cares.
It's not a basketball city.
No.
It never has been.
No, it's like the NHL existing in Atlanta. Get over it. It's not going to work.
But the NBA is not going to do what the NHL did to Atlanta. They're just going to force us to have a New Orleans franchise. Anyways, the ownership group sucks. They fired David Griffin. They keep Willie Green, the head coach. And there's a report out of New Orleans from one of the beat people that says the organization would rather keep Willie Green and move on from Zion Williamson. And now, guess who's back in the old trade conversation this offseason?
Let's go, baby.
It is Zion Williamson. And I go back to Joe Cronin. Yesterday, we played audio where he basically says we can pick and choose who we want. And so naturally, the news comes out about Griffin and then Zion and Blazer fan. We're back where we were 2 years ago.
Should we trade for Zion?
Should we trade for Zion Williamson?
I mean, I'd do it in a heartbeat. What does it take to give up?
Would you really?
I would absolutely do it in a heartbeat.
So what would it take to get Zion? I would say this.
Yeah, that's the first question.
Zion's trade value's taken a hit from when we talked about this in that draft, that
yes,
scoop
it has.
draft.
And you got to make the financials work, of course.
But it would still cost you probably a decent something. I would say one of the future Milwaukee picks.
Okay, I'm all right doing that.
Wherever they end up in this year's lottery.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
And an Anthony Simons.
Oh, dude, yes.
Or a Jeremy, whatever's going to make the money.
Yes. I can't say yes to that fast enough.
Multiple firsts.
I mean,
and
look,
a player.
A lot of it will be, the caveat will be, where do you end up in this year's draft? But if you end up where you're drafting,
would I get ninth? You win the coin toss.
Yeah. Do I want Knipple or Zion? I will take a swing and a flyer on a 24-year-old who's one of the most freakish athletes we've ever seen.
Is he still 24?
He's 24 years old. 24.
Feels like he's 34 at this point.
I mean, I think his body might be 34, but that's a whole different point.
You want to take that on?
I would take that on. I absolutely would. I'd take a flyer on him. Just a new home, get him out all that, eating all that Creole food, and get him up to the Pacific Northwest. Get him on some granola. Give him some hemp seeds. We're getting him out here. Beautiful weather.
Casa
Come on.
Diablo.
Exactly. He's going to fit right in. We got a lot of strip clubs. He's going to be a happy man. He's going to be motivated, and he's going to tear the NBA apart.
I was thinking about this yesterday. Like, when he plays, the numbers are amazing.
He averaged in 30 games this year.
Well, how many?
30 games
How many
this
games?
year. 30 games this year.
How many do they play in a season?
Like 32, I think.
82, so 30
82,
games.
just a little short. He averaged 25 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 5.5 assists. That's better than anybody the Blazers have on the roster.
Yes, he would be.
He would be their best player immediately.
If he's healthy playing, he's the best player on the team.
He shot 57% from the floor.
Now, he's just getting twos. He ain't shooting threes.
That's okay.
Not a part of his game. And anyway.
We got Scoot. We don't need a three-point shooter.
I wonder, when I think of this, though, whether it's Portland or not, it could just be, fans are fans, and Zion's always sounded and looked appealing as a player. I do wonder with Zion, Portland aside, does he end up becoming one of those players that he does get out of a garbage-ass organization?
You got to take a flyer.
He goes to the right team. He gets his ass together, and we go, man, New Orleans, how are you running things? Because how did this guy not do this where you were? Because I'll never forget when they won it, how big of a deal it was, how big of a deal we thought it was going to be, and how much of a dud it's been. This was supposed to be Luka, LeBron level type athlete, And he can't stay healthy.
Nope.
He had some off-the-court stuff.
He did.
Also, that organization is one of the worst-run organizations all of sports, bar none.
They willingly took on C.J. McCollum.
Well, they gave him an extension.
They did.
But I'm just saying, like, the way they run the franchise, the Benson family,
Not good.
it's terrible.
Not good.
They should not own an NBA franchise. And so I don't know if Portland's realistically in this, if he'll even be really traded. But it got brought up yesterday that he might be on the move. And I'm just thinking, like, how many teams will line up to say, we run things better, we'll change this, he will be the player many thought he would be.
The irony in all this, too, is that they have the fourth best odds to get Cooper Flag.
Yeah, Flag and Zion, if he's out there, I mean, that's a hell of a...
All of a sudden, this horrible
Revamp.
organization is going to leap right in front
With
of us
Trey-
in the
with-
West.
with Trey Murphy.
Playoff picture.
Oh, my God.
Look, the reality of it is this is a fun debate to have. I would unquestionably take a chance on him. I don't think the asking price would be anywhere near what it would have been 2 to 3 years ago.
Yeah, but it's still going to cost you.
It's still going to cost you. Losing Anthony Simons and Jeremy Grant, if that's a part of it, to me is not losing you anything. I'm perfectly willing and accepting of moving on from both those players, and we should have traded both of them last offseason. A future first-round pick, whatever, and this year's pick, if it ends up 9, 10, 11, 12, it's not what you thought it was going to be going into the year, and I'm not that interested in a Con Knipple. The reality, though, at the end of the day is we know that there's no chance that they do it because the Blazers are incapable of taking a big swing. They're incapable of taking a risk on anything.
Yeah.
And they're going to keep the status quo, and the entire roster will likely be back together next year.
So the Pelicans got Missy out of Baylor in the draft late in the first round last year, and nobody really talked. He had a good year for them. So you'd have him at center. You got Herb Jones and Trey Murphy on the wing.
Yeah, it's a pretty good team.
Zion
If you
and
add Cooper Flag to the mix there. And
little angry Alvarado.
You just needed the new Duke to get the old Duke to get his S together and stay in shape and
this
focus.
Duke might be more of a leader than the other Duke.
That would be horrible for the NBA if he went to New Orleans. I really hope that's not where he ends up.
New Orleans, San Antonio, and Philly are like worst case scenarios, I think. But
Philly's, I mean, sure, but I bet the league would love to have him in
no,
Philly.
the league would like it. I'm saying
For your
thought,
stance,
yeah.
I'd be okay with that, though.
Would you be in on it? Yay or nay? And then we'll go to the second hour.
Zion trade, yay.
You just give it up and take the risk?
Yes.
Take the swings.
Yes.
All right.
Any swing. When was the last time we took a swing on anything?
In the draft.
We're just staring at pitches. Strike one. Damn it. Strike two. Damn it. Strike three. Damn it.